Hello, this is Professor C.P. Prakasham, former professor, International Institute for Population Sciences, Mumbai. I will be discussing about path analysis and how to use SPSS for analyzing the path analysis data under data analysis. Path analysis developed by Wright in 1921-1960 is a method employed to determine the multivariate set of non-experimental data that fits well with a particular causal model. Path analysis is an extension of the regression model. Path analysis is a standardized multiple regression technique using a standardized form of dependent and predictor variable with zero means and unit variancy. For analyzing the data through path model, the following steps are involved. Initially, the variables through path analysis, path diagram, that is the path model, has to be established. Number 2, the path model, the variables are arranged from left to right in a manner such that any variable is influenced only by one or more of the variables appearing on its left and not by any of the variables on the right. It is like a flow, and the variables appearing extreme right will be the dependent variable. Number 3, the path analysis variables arranged in an orderly manner and in a chain relationship and examined through a series of regression equation. But there are some other method also by using the correlation that we will discuss in that. The first step in path analysis is the development of a path model according to the variables and their sequencing and that. Therefore, the path model is a diagram which shows the independent, intermediate and dependent variables. A single-headed arrow shows the cause for the independent, intermediate and dependent variable. In some cases, there will be double-headed arrows which shows that the relation between one variable to another and another variable to the earlier variables. Therefore, double-headed arrow shows the covariance between two variables. After developing this model, the path coefficients will be calculated. The path coefficients will be calculated by using the standardized beta coefficients in a regression, showing the direct effect of the independent variable on dependent variable in the path model. There is another method of calculating the path coefficients by using the correlation method. Then we have to understand what are the types of path models are there. On the basis of the arrows, the path model will be decided. According to the causal relation between the variables, path model have a categorized into recursive and non-recursive model. The recursive model is one where the flow of causation from one variable starting will go and follow the another variable through the arrow, following the headed arrow, reaching the dependent variable, and that will not come back to the same variable. That means it is not having the double-headed arrow. Single-headed arrow starting from one variable and reaching to the another variable until the dependent variable established. Non-recursive models consist of a feedback loop, unlike the recursive model. One of the important thing in path model is the arrows connecting between the variables from the dependent to independent and even independent to the dependent variables. The variables are connected through arrow lines. One way arrow leading from each independent variable to each dependent variable represents the path, and the quantities entered on the diagram are the numerical values of the path coefficients. How to calculate the path coefficients? The method of obtaining path coefficients can be in two ways: by using the zero order correlation coefficient and by using the least square regression to the equations in the system. Question arises: how to calculate path coefficients? The general form of the path coefficients which can be obtained by using the correlation may be written as Rij equals to summation of Piq small riq, where I and j are the two variables in the path diagram and the q runs over the variables from which path leads towards the dependent variable xj. As we had discussed earlier, the path coefficients can be calculated by using the zero order correlation coefficient as well as the regression equation. In the zero order correlation, simultaneous equations are generated with zero order correlation coefficient, and solving these simultaneous equations, path coefficients are obtained. You can see the references given at the end, the number 3, 4 and 7, they have clearly described and how to solve the simultaneous equations. The path coefficients to a set of regression equations in the above relation Rij becomes a compact statement of normal regression equation from form. Hence, the standardized beta coefficients become a path coefficients. There are specific assumptions involved in path analysis. Even though the path analysis will reveal the causal relation between the dependent and independent variables, the following assumptions has to be taken into consideration. The causal order between the variables to be specified will not be established by the path model. That has been established by the researcher only. The validity of the causal order should be verified by using the different methods. The path model assumes the relationship are linear because we are using the regression equation, linear regression equation. In practice, it may not be hold true, and hence the regressions of y on x may always be interpreted as the best linear approximation. The causal flow is one way only. If it is a reverse way, then it will be a different models will be there. The residuals error term are uncorrelated with the variables in the model and with each others. We will illustrate the path analysis with an example. Here, a researcher is interested to find out the causal factors influencing the percentage of girls marrying below age 18 years. That is low age in marriage. What are the causal factors for that in a particular state? He collected the following data with the variables are given here. The percentage of households fall in lowest wealth quintile, that is identified as abbreviated as a wealth, and percentage of households living in Pakka houses, percentage of literate households, mean number of living children, and percentage of girls marrying below 18 years. The selection of variables and its influence on the dependent variable, that girl marrying below age at 18 years, has been got from the earlier literature review and the conceptual frameworks. It is assumed that the percentage of households falling in the lowest wealth quintile is an indication of poverty, and the percentage of households living in Pakka houses is a proxy to better living condition, and mean number of living children is a proxy to family size and family burden, and percentage of girls marrying below legal age at marriage 18 years is influenced by the wealth, that is the poverty, illiteracy, that is LIT, better living and Pakka houses, family burden, that is L child. The causal effect has been established by using the path diagram. Here the researcher is assuming that the poverty and illiteracy and living in poor housing condition and having large number of children in the household may influence the percentage of girls having the below 18 years of marrying will be very high. From the path diagram, the interrelation and causal relation will be established. Here you can see the data. One can verify if they are interested to get the practice of the data for the given variables. It is given in the left side. And here is the path diagram. But before going to the actual path diagram, we should understand the concept of the variables which have been incorporated. There are two types of variables, important variables, that is exogenous and endogenous variables. There are other type of variables also that will come in later. One of the important of the exogenous variables are never dependent variables. Here if you look at the wealth and Pakka houses, there is no arrow coming in, only the arrow is going out. Therefore, these variables are not dependent variables. These are the exogenous variables. The connecting line with arrow at both ends indicates that the correlation between two variables will remain unanalyzed. The correlation coefficient is considered as a causal analysis. If the exogenous variables, where the variables are not, the arrows are not coming in, only arrows are going out, then the relation between the two variables has been established by the correlation coefficient, that is the causal factor. If you see here, wealth to the Pakka houses and wealth to the literacy, the arrows are going and it is considered as exogenous variable. Endogenous variables are the dependent variables. On the other hand, they depend at least in part of it or on the exogenous variables and the residual variables in the model. If you look at this, wealth is the arrow is shooting down to L child, that is the family burden, and Pakka houses is shooting down to L child, and literacy is to the family size. Therefore, the three arrows coming from wealth and housing and literacy are pointing out towards the family size. Therefore, this L child will become the dependent variable and wealth, literacy and housing will become a independent variables. The type of variables will become a endogenous variables. But when you look at once again in the diagram, from the mean number of children, that is L child, arrow is shooting to the girls marrying less than 18 years. Similarly, from the literacy level, it is arrow is shooting to the girls marrying less than 18 years. That shows that the dependent variable, which is for the earlier exogenous variables, again it will become a independent variable for the girls marrying less than 18 years of age. And the arrows shooting at the L child and as well as the GMR, that is girls marrying 18 years, that is the residual variables. While calculating in the regression, you will find the residuals will come into the picture. But the residuals are the uncorrelated variables will be considered here. Then coming back to our problem, the path model for the age at marriage data. In the path diagram, you can see that the wealth and Pakka houses and literacy are influencing the family size, that is the L child, and in turn literacy and L child is influencing the girls marrying 18 years, less than 18 years, and residual variables RU and RY is given. In the path diagram model, the variables are arranged from left to the right side in such a way that endogenous variables are to the right of the exogenous variables. We have discussed about the endogenous and exogenous variables. The unidirectional straight arrow called causal path. Therefore, V1 to V3, V1 to V2, V1 to V4 and V2 to V4, V4 to V5 and V3 to V5 are the path derived path coefficients. That is called the causal path. And the causal direction will be from the right side to the left side, from the between exogenous and endogenous variables. Then we have to make a structural equation on the basis of the path model. When you look at the path diagram, then wealth, that is V1, and Pakka house V2 are the endogenous variables. There is no arrow shooting down to that. In that case, we will have a correlation between that. That is V1 to V2 will be the R1. That is the ordinary zero order correlation coefficient. Similarly, V1 to V3, that is the wealth to literacy, then the path coefficient will be the correlation coefficient. Coming back to the V4, that is the L child, equals to the whatever arrows are shooting down to the dependent variable, that is the family size, that V4, we have to consider in the regression equation. That regression equation is developed as V4 equals to path coefficient between 4 to 1, that is V1 on 4, that is wealth, plus path coefficient P4 2, that is the L child to the Pakka house, plus P4 3, that is the child L child to the literacy level, plus the residual variable RU. Similarly, when you come to the girls marrying less than 18 years, that is GMR, that is V5. V5 equals to path coefficient arrow shooting down to the V5 or V3. Therefore, PV35, that is path coefficient between them, plus PV45, that is the child L child, plus RV, that is the residual variable representing for this regression equation. Like that we can develop and consider the structural equations. Then we have to solve these structural equations by using the SPSS for the data given in there. As we discussed earlier, the total association is represented by the correlation of the variables within the path diagram. Therefore, here we have got the 5 variables V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. The sum of all the path coefficients will become a total association of the correlation matrix. Then if you consider V1 to V2, then the correlation coefficient is the minus 0.407. Then V1 to V3, the correlation coefficient is minus 0.823. Whereas other two structural equations will be solved by using the SPSS regression equations, which have been given as equation number 1 and equation number 2. Coming back to the SPSS. In the SPSS output, we can calculate the path coefficients as a standardized regression coefficients. When you look at this first equation, that V4 equals to wealth, that is P41 plus P42 plus P43 plus residual variable. Therefore, when you look at the data, we can run the SPSS output, that is the analyze, the regression, linear, then input dependent variable as a V4 and independent variable are the V1, V2 and V3. It is given, and then say OK, then you will get the output. First it will generate the R square as well as the analysis of variancy, and it shows significant. Then comes to the coefficients. In this, if you look at the standardized beta coefficients, then you can get the influence of the variables, and we can get the path coefficients. Therefore, standardized beta coefficients are the path coefficients in the regression equation. Therefore, the restructuring from the given output, then we will get the equation like this, that is V4 equals to 0.185, that is the path coefficient between the V4 and V1, then minus 0.062, that is the path coefficient P42, and minus 0.355, that is the path coefficient P43 plus residual variables Ru. This Ru is calculated on the basis of root of 1 minus R square. The calculated R square is 0.302. Therefore, the output will be 0.8355, which is uncorrelated with the path. Then coming back to the next equation. Coming back to the next equation is V5 equals to P35 plus P45 plus Ru. In this we are having the variables as the literacy, that is V3 and V4 related with the dependent variable V5, girls marrying. Here also we will get the output, SPSS output, that analysis of variance gives that highly significant. The regression equation is highly significant and it is suitable. Then the output coefficient is obtained by the standardized beta coefficients is given literacy and mean number of living children influencing the girls marrying less than 18 years. The equation is structural equation with the path coefficient is given by V5 equals to minus 0.610 plus 0.124, that is L child plus RV. Here also we can calculate the residual variables by RV equals to root of 1 minus R square, and RV equals to that summation will give us and simplification will give us 0.7287. Then coming back to the putting these values into the form. Here if you look at that, the path coefficients are having the two effects, that is indirect effect and direct effect. That means the arrows which are shooting down from V1 to V4 will be a direct, and that will be substituted with the path coefficients which have been derived from the regression equation. If you look at the diagram, V1 to V2, which is only the variable which is coming from one direction and not having any arrows emerging to that, then this will be the correlation coefficient which has been taken into consideration. Otherwise, other path coefficients have been derived from the equations which we have got it. Then look at this left side table, that V1 to V2 will give us the path coefficient, V1 to V3 will give the path coefficient, that is the correlation. Then V1 to V4, V2 to V4, V3 to V4, V3 to V5, we have got from the V4 to V5, we have got the path coefficients. That represents in the diagram also. Therefore, the direct effect is obtained by the path coefficients calculated from the structural equation which has earlier discussed, equation 1 and 2. The indirect effect. The indirect effect is the sum of all possible paths reaching in the endogenous variables. Now we have to calculate the causal and non-causal effect. From that we can find out the path for the critical path we can find out. How to find out that? From the tables which you are given in the table number 2 and table number 3, we can derive the total effect equals to direct effect plus indirect effect. Non-causal effect equals to total association minus total effect. Total association is equals to correlation coefficient between two variables, which has been calculated in the table number 2 in the earlier slides. Then we will go to our problem by applying the direct and indirect effect values from the table number 3. Effects in the model of factors determining girls marrying below age 18 years is as follows. This table will give you the total effect, non-causal, total association is for the variables is given below. You can see the table here, V4 and V5, and exogenous variables are V1, V2, V3. For V5, V1, V2, V3, V4. Direct effect, indirect effect, non-causal, total effect and total association. direct effect and indirect effect, which you have already calculated in the table number 3. And total association is the correlation between the variables, which is given in the table number 2. Now we have to calculate the non-causal effect, and total effect is given by, that is column number 6 is given by the sum of the direct plus indirect effect. Let us see here, column number 3 and column number 4 is output from the table number 3, that is the direct and indirect effect. And indirect effect from V1 to V5, V1 on V5 is all the paths coming from V1 to V5. The paths which are coming from V1 to V5 is that V1, V3, V5 plus path coefficients plus V1, V4, V5 plus V2, V1, V2, V4, V5, V1, V3, V4, V5. That summation will give us the 0.564, which is given as the indirect effect. Like that, for all the variables which are given in the table, we can calculate that, and it is given as the indirect effect. From that, again column number 3 plus column number 4 will give us the total effect. The causal effect, the total association is the column number 7 output from the table. Here, if you look at that, the non-causal effect is the total association minus total effect. Like that, we can build up this table here for the further calculations. And now we will come back to the results. By applying the direct and indirect effect values, and model effect for the determining the girls marrying below age 18 is derived as follows. As you have seen earlier, this is for the explanation purpose we have given. Then this is the diagram. From this diagram we have already derived. Then what is the conclusions we can draw? The conclusions are here. The causal factors influencing low age at marriage. This is most important for us, because after calculating all the path coefficients. Then from the above table, the results reveal that the direct path between V3, that is the percentage of literate households, V5, percentage of girls marrying below age 18 years, found to be highest, that is minus 0.610. You can see that V5, V3 direct effect is minus 0.610, and negatively influencing V5, that V5 is the girls marrying less than 18 years. The percentage of literate household is a direct leading factor. The indirect path, that is V1 to V5, shows that 0.564, that is the highest effect among the indirect effect path V5. V1, V3, V5 shows highest of all other paths which have been derived from the table number 3. Therefore, we can conclude that the household poverty influences household literacy level, causing girls marrying below age 18 years in the study area by using the path analysis. It is necessary, then we can give the policy recommendations. As a researcher, we can give the policy recommendations. It is necessary to impart program to reduce household poverty by enhancing self-help groups and incorporating the adult education programs to increase girls' age at marriage. Like that, we can complete our research. Then one of the end note is very important end note, where it is involves a lot of discussion. Little RJA, he while discussing path analysis general principle, he argues that path analysis is not a statistical techniques like regression or MCA. He emphasizes that it is an interpretational technique for determining appropriate sets of regressor and predictor in a statistical analysis, and to understand the output from a statistical analysis. He is under the argument that it should be looked into a little different angle. The path coefficients are being estimated by using the multiple regression. The path analytical method requires the use of interval data for all the variables including in the model. That is, path analysis only deals with measured variables or variables that can be observed and measured directly. You can see the references here. For a dichotomous variables and ordinary variables, one can use the method which has been referred in the references number 6 by Mukherjee and S. These will come back to the references here. In these references, one can see the Duncan O.D. He has given path analysis for sociological examples, and also Kendall M.G. et al. They have given full explanation about the path analysis and model building, and little R.J.A. and he has given illustrations for that. And Mukherjee, yes, he has described how to use the path analysis for the dichotomous variables. And other people who have given here, Pathak et al., he has given the application of path analysis for the demographic data. And United Nations Manual number 10 will give the discussions about this path analysis for further readings. It will be. Thank you very much. Please like it, share it.